Hello, today I want to talk to you about a question that has been landing in my inbox more and more lately, especially from those of you who are navigating retirement or getting ready to hand in your 2 weeks' notice for good. You are looking at your smart devices, you are watching your adult children or your grandchildren manage their money, and you see this little green app icon with a cartoon bear on it. The app is called Dave. And the burning question you are asking me is, Susie, how does Dave make money? Now, why should you care how a trendy smartphone app makes a buck? You should care because this app is currently pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and it is doing it by serving as a financial lifeline for millions of Americans, quite possibly the very people you love, your own kids or grandkids, who are struggling to make ends meet in this brutal economy. Or maybe you yourself are looking for a way to manage your cash flow now that you are living on a fixed income, and you are wondering if these digital tools are safe or if they are just a wolf in sheep's clothing. I understand the fear. When you look at the landscape of modern banking, it feels like a completely different world than the one we grew up with. You look at a traditional bank, and you know exactly how they make their money. They take your deposits, they pay you a tiny bit of interest, and then they turn around and lend that money out for mortgages and car loans at a much higher rate. It's called the net interest margin. It's clean, it's understandable, and it has worked for 100 years. But then you see an app like Dave. They don't have brick-and-mortar branches. They don't have loan officers sitting behind oak desks. They offer something called extra cash advances, giving people up to $500 to get through the week, and they proudly advertise that they charge 0% interest. 0% interest. When you hear that, your alarm bell should be ringing. You and I have lived long enough to know that nobody gives away money for free. If an institution is handing out hundreds of millions of dollars in advances and they aren't charging interest, how on earth are they surviving? What is the catch? Is it a scam? Are they selling your private data? Are they trapping people in a modern-day cycle of debt? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the cold, hard truth of how this company actually prints money, because the reality of how these financial technology companies operate is eye-opening. First, Dave charges a mandatory monthly subscription fee just to use the app. For years it was $1, but recently they bumped it up to $3 a month. Now, you might say, Susie, $3 is nothing. That's less than a cup of coffee. But I want you to do the math with me. When you have millions of users paying $3 every single month, 12 months a year, that creates a massive, guaranteed stream of recurring revenue before anyone even borrows a single dime. They use that steady cash flow to pay for their technology and their overhead. They would even tell you that for every tip you left, they would plant a tree to help feed the hungry. It sounded so beautiful, so charitable. But critics and regulators looked at that and said, wait a minute. If a user is borrowing $100 for 2 weeks and leaves a 15% tip, that equates to an annual percentage rate of hundreds of percent. Because of immense regulatory pressure, the company had to pivot. They phased out those optional tips and instant express fees for new users, and instead, they implemented a mandatory fee structure. Today, if you want an advance, they charge a flat fee of 5% of the principal amount, with a minimum of $5 and a maximum of $15. Let's think about that. If your grandchild needs $40 to put gas in their tank to get to work, and they borrow it from Dave, they pay a $5 fee. To you, $5 sounds small. But if that $40 advance has to be paid back in 3 days when their paycheck hits, a $5 fee on a 3-day loan annualizes to an astronomical interest rate. We are talking upwards of thousands of percent APR. This is how they do it, my friends. They have replaced the traditional interest rate with structural fees that bypass standard lending laws, but still yield massive profits. Every single time a user swipes that card at the grocery store, the gas station, or online, the merchant has to pay a small processing fee called an interchange fee. Dave takes a direct cut of that fee. So, they win when you borrow and they win when you spend. They even have a feature called Side Hustle, where they connect users with gig economy jobs like food delivery or remote work, and when a user signs up for one of those jobs, the employer pays Dave a referral fee. They have built a brilliant, capital-light ecosystem designed to monetize every single financial move a user makes. And you know what? It is working for them. Their revenues are skyrocketing, and their profit margins are incredibly high because they use artificial intelligence to scan a user's bank transactions and predict exactly who will pay them back and who won't, minimizing their losses without ever needing a credit check. So, what is the actionable takeaway for you? If you are retired or nearing retirement, you must understand that the financial tools of today are built on convenience, but convenience always carries a hidden cost. If you have adult children or grandchildren who are using these apps, do not just judge them, talk to them. Understand that they are facing a cost of living crisis, and apps like Dave can feel a whole lot safer to them than a predatory payday lender or a $35 overdraft fee from a traditional megabank. But remind them and remind yourself that relying on short-term advances to cover basic living expenses is a symptom of a deeper financial problem. It means you are living beyond your means, or you do not have a structural emergency fund. A $3 subscription here and a $5 advance fee there might feel invisible, but those small leaks will sink a big ship over time. If you are entering retirement, your goal must be absolute financial safety and predictability. Keep your money in trusted, insured institutions where you understand every single line item. Build your cash cushion so you never have to rely on an algorithm to advance your own money. Know exactly where your dollars are going, because when you control your cash, you control your life. Stay safe and stand in your truth.